That's all right.
Yeah,
At least you have a head.
at least I have a head.
You have an it too. And I don't mean that in any type of weird way.
No, I got a whole lot of it's.
Is that why your head's not in it? Did your MBA program start already?
No, I haven't even. I was going to defer till the fall. I wasn't going to start in summer.
Oh, I thought
Made that decision a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
cool. Your lady treating you well?
of course.
That's a pretty picture.
It is. You can barely tell they're there, to be honest. And so John and Trey went up and painted those metal shingles.
Yeah, right here.
That's funny.
I don't know
It
why.
looks slick.
It looks great.
Yeah,
I think this is solar right there too.
it is. So we had about a 15-minute conversation about whether or not we needed Protea brackets and flash foots.
And it turned out that the answer was yes, indeed.
And the answer is turned out that it was yes.
You're getting pretty good at this project management stuff.
I enjoy it.
Just because it's challenging to put the information together.
Yeah, I just don't know what I'm doing every day.
Hi, Mason. And hi.
Hi.
Is that your son or friend?
Yes, that's my son when he was using this for Zoom. I'm Suzelle.
You're like Giselle?
Suzelle with an S.
Suzelle?
Yes.
Susel?
Suzell.
That's a cool name.
Thank you.
I've never met a Suzelle before.
Oh, now you have.
If you want to trade, my name's Lester. I can be Suzelle. And
Oh, God. I don't know how that would work. I'll stick to
what part of the world are you in today? We'll get started soon. Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it starting to get hot down there? Or
Yes, the answer is yes. Absolutely.
this is when this is the time of year people actually start thinking about things like solar, because electricity bills go up to like $500 a month for some people. Like, have y'all ever gotten any of those giant summer bills before?
Yeah, definitely. In the next 3, 4, 5 months, it'll around double what it usually is.
That's wild. But
Yeah.
you know what? The other 9 months of the year, you live in Miami.
Yeah, not too bad. Not a bad deal.
Not a pretty good trade-off. So
Yes.
I'm up in Knoxville. Have you ever been to Tennessee before?
Not in a long time. I think I've been to like someplace called Gatlinburg many years ago.
With saltwater taffy and
Yeah,
putt golf and other tourist trap type things.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a fun place when you're a kid. Did you go there with your family or
Yeah, family trips when we were a kid.
Well, Suzelle, thank you for helping me pass the last couple of minutes and smiling and being cool. I guess you came to raise some funds tonight, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you came to the right place. Congratulations. We're going to make this super easy. And it's already 8:00. And the only thing we have to decide is whether or not I'm going to do this or John's going to do it. It looks like he wants me to do it because he's muted. John?
Yeah, Lester, I'll be your support, but we could do this one together. It's the last one for a little while.
Okay. So I'm Lester, and that guy with the glasses on is John. And we have known each other for 15 years, like long enough to remember when the dinosaurs were around. Can you guys all see that screen with the dinosaurs that I saw there? Anna, can you see that screen with me and John and dinosaurs? You might want to turn your phone around if you're on your phone, or like open up the screen, because a lot of this is visual. That's why we do it on Zoom. It's more fun to do it together. So if you guys can see like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, me and John, and then pictures of 4 other people, thumbs up. Lucia's got her thumb up. Mariella, cool. Damaris, awesome. Well, guys, welcome to your Nova Solar Exploration and Fundraising Experience. I'm your host, along with John Carey tonight, and we believe in giving first and telling the truth. So the way that our this starts, I don't know that this is the most effective way to run these, but it seems like people like it better whenever they can just introduce themselves and know that they got what they came for. Some people like to do it where they ask a question when they introduce themselves, but we're going to try it just where you introduce yourself. So let's go ahead and get the fundraiser over with since y'all came for the fundraiser. And then I'd love to ask for your attention for about 20, 25 minutes so we can go over some points about solar that you might not know. And you might learn something and it might be worth learning more about. And if it is, that's great. We can help you. John just finished installing this at our friend's house. Can y'all even see the solar panels on there? They're all black now. Like they don't look like those funky silver things anymore. They're really beautiful. So I just want to start with that. Solar is pretty nowadays. And you don't even have to get it on your house. You can get a pergola. You can build a back patio. You can do it however you want to do it. We can talk about all those things, how we figure out how many panels you need. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. But first, since this is the last time we're doing this, let's make this the easiest fundraiser you guys have ever had. So we could start wherever you want to, but for introducing yourself and telling us who you are and who you came to support, $50 is going to be given to the organization that you came to support. So Suzelle, do you want to start since we were chatting before we got started?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Suzelle, and my kids go to Archimedean, and we're just here to learn a little bit about solar. And see if we can raise some funds in the meantime.
Well, you get to raise the funds first. You just did.
Awesome.
Pretty easy, huh?
Yeah.
Not as tasty as selling candy bars, but
No.
hopefully a little bit easier. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming to support our comedian. We've loved working with y'all. It's been so much fun. So, John, who did we just get off the phone with that signed up to learn more? Do you know Osee?
RC, yeah.
Mm-mm.
She's a really cool mom. Anyway, who's next? Suzelle, give yourself a hand. You just raised $50 for our comedian. Real simple. So I see Anna on my screen. Would you like to go next? If I'm saying your name right, Anna or Anna?
Anna.
Anna. Okay. One N is a lot of times Anna. I'm sorry for saying your name.
No,
right.
it's okay.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. I'm also raising for our Comedian Academy.
Cool. Thank you for showing up. You just did it. Congratulations. Who would you like to hear from next? Well, that was a question, but I'll just make it easy for you. Lucia, you can go. Your name means
Yes.
life. We have to hear from you.
Oh yes, I'm also here for Archimedean Academy, and I'm looking forward to learn a little bit about the panels and how they are installed, and see if it's something that I could be doing in the near future.
Lucia, you just raised $50, and I hope we don't let you down. You can ask as many questions as you want to.
Awesome.
And then we have Mariella with her cool headphones on. Are you a gamer, or is this just COVID accoutrement you picked up?
Hi, good evening. Yes, I'm Mariela. I'm from Archimedean too, racing for Archimedean Academy. And this is because my daughter is sleeping, so just trying for her not to listen anything.
I bet after you heard how loud I was, you were really glad you had those on. So, Mariella, thank you for raising some funds for our comedian. $50 will be given just because you showed up. And then Damaris, let me ask to unmute.
Yes, perfect. Let me see. Now, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. How do you say your name?
Damaris.
Damaris. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. Well, my name is Damaris. I'm also raising money for our comedian.
What a good
Thank
school.
you so much. Yes, the best. Thank you so much for the invitation. And also, I want to learn a little more about solar panels and everything.
Well, we're looking forward to teaching you. Thank you for being willing to give some of your time. And our comedian appreciates you showing up to raise some funds for them. We send the money on Friday, so they'll get it tomorrow morning. Thank you for showing up. And then we already have Suzelle. Jeanette, I believe we have left. And is there anybody else after Jeanette? Look at that smile. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi, my name is Jeanette. I'm here for Ethel Koger Beckham Elementary, a different school. I am.
Yeah, you guys are great too.
I'm a teacher at the school, but I also have 3 children, 3 little ones that go there.
What do
so
you
I'm here to support my school and to find out more about the organic way of life, right?
You know, I know that the sunshine comes up every day in Miami.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't see it if there's a hurricane around. And everybody uses electricity, especially in the summertime. So, Jeanette, thank you for showing up. What do you teach at EKB?
I teach first grade.
Oh, are they still awesome then? Or is that when they're starting to get kind of wonky?
That's a tough grade because they're little. You know, it's like teach them how to read, write, stay still, you know, focus. But it's fun because they're very loving.
Thank you for pouring your heart into kids. We really appreciate showing out. Like,
thank you for having me and doing this.
Yeah, if you didn't do what you did, like, so let me just pause for a second before we get into the solar part and just say that over the last 5 months, we've had a chance to meet with 600 folks like y'all who came to learn about solar energy, and we've been able to raise $30,000 for good organizations. And it's our honor to have a chance to do that because we know it would not be possible if teachers like Jeanette weren't doing a good job in the schools and you actually liked the schools that you came to support. Otherwise, when they asked you to use part of your Thursday night to do something new, you would have been like, nah, we're going to pass. So thank you for being the kind of parents and friends who support the kids. Thanks for being the kind of teachers who make a difference. And it's our honor to be here with you tonight. Like I said, this is us. This is me. That's John. This is Luke. He's on tonight too. And Holly is taking care of her kids. So we know how busy moms are. Chris just graduated from college. He's an engineer to make sure we do things right. And Trey's a carpenter who helps out with a lot of the projects. This is our team. We're not a big corporation. We're just a small group of people who believe that solar energy really matters. You know, the organic way of life, as Jeanette said. But more than that, just because it's easy. Don't y'all like things that are easier? Like you want to be challenged, maybe romantically. You like somebody to challenge you, or maybe you like that to be easy. You like to be challenged in a workout. But otherwise, we like to do things that are easy. Like, and our world has gotten pretty easy. You know, just 20 years ago, if I wanted to meet you, I would have had to have driven to Miami and come and knocked up. Well, I guess I could have called you on the phone. You know, 150 years ago, I would have had to ride a horse or walk. And now we can hop on Zoom to have this conversation. And so if you don't remember anything else at all about solar energy tonight, I want to share this funny picture with you just to show you what we're talking about. Are y'all old enough to remember all these wild pieces like boom boxes and like Walkmans? Like, have you ever thought about the fact that all that fits inside your cell phone now? Technology advances, and when it does, new things become possible. The way we're making our electricity now is by blowing up our planet to get pieces of it so we can set it on fire to make steam. That's a lot of work. That's not easy. You know, another thing that's not easy is having a bill that you can never pay off just because you want to watch Netflix and have a refrigerator. Like, no matter how many months you pay your electricity bill, it never goes away. And I just read with FPL, where most of y'all are, the prices are getting ready to go up again. And so with that said, if you've ever been curious about solar energy, or you're just curious right now, we personally, our little team has helped people actually go solar in 15 states. We're just a little concierge service that makes it really easy and quick for people to go solar who want to, but I wouldn't expect you to want to do something you didn't know anything about. So I'm going to flip over to John for a little bit before you tune me out. John, if you were them, what would you want to ask, or like, what would you want to make sure somebody taught you if the roles were reversed?
Yeah, thanks, Lester. My wife and I, we use solar energy, and it was only 6.5 years ago that Lester and I really began diving deep into it. And so it's easy to have lots of questions, sometimes difficult to get answers in a fun and friendly way. So we can do this one of two ways. You guys can ask questions, and then if nobody has any, then I can ask you guys questions that I think would be necessary to know if you were going to put solar panels on your house. But just like Lester said, before we do some questions, could you go to the four things, Lester? I think that's just a good place to start, because Lester said solar is easy. Well, he didn't get to the point of explaining that we've actually had solar since 1954. So the first solar cells that were ever created are actually still producing electricity from sunshine. So we don't quite know how long solar will last, because the first solar cells still work. But today's solar panels, they come with a 25-year warranty. And it's not just a warranty that they'll work for 25 years, it's that they'll work 80 to 92% as well as they did the day that they were installed. So those are kind of just some interesting facts. They don't have any moving pieces. That also makes them simple, right? Something that can be manufactured one time and then installed one time and then just sits there. That's going to be a lot simpler than that crazy process Lester showed you, where we get coal or natural gas or a nuclear power plant, generate it really far from your house and send it all the way there over vulnerable power lines. So it's 2021. We can produce electricity where we live, and we can do it using a piece of technology that doesn't have any moving pieces, doesn't require any maintenance. You can own it, and it operates on free sunshine. So maybe that brings up some questions for you guys. And the four things, I guess there's five now, so maybe adjust the title, Lester. But yeah, I mean, the government will pay for 26% of the cost of you going solar. That's a federal tax credit. It's a real thing. We'd love to go into more depth, but these are just some stuff. If you went solar, your house will be worth more money and it will sell faster. There's so many studies, but I'm sure it makes sense that if you bought a refrigerator that filled itself up with food, you'd probably have to pay more for it. And if you bought a house that produced its own electricity, you'd probably pay more for that too. The one thing that folks really surprises people, and this is how my wife and I did it, it's how you get your iPhone. Typically, you walk into the store, you get the phone, and then you just pay monthly for it. There's nothing up front. That's how most people go solar now. They don't pay anything to have the panels installed, warranted, activated, so they're producing electricity. So there's no upfront cost. A lot of people think it's expensive to go solar. And they actually pay for their solar panels with the money that they were going to be paying to the utility company. So that's point number 4. So it's like when you started to pay yourself a mortgage, you didn't keep paying rent. You took your rent money and you put that towards paying a mortgage. So if your solar panels are producing your electricity, then you don't have to pay your power company for electricity anymore. You just take that money and you apply it to paying off your solar panels. So these are just some simple concepts. Lester said in the last one of these, and it really hit home for me, he was like, wouldn't you have loved to start paying yourself a mortgage sooner? I know it took me a lot longer in my life to become a homeowner. And I would have rather put so many more thousands of dollars into paying for my home than paying somebody else's home off. And that's the opportunity with solar energy. Is the most expensive thing about it is all the months it takes before you start producing your own electricity, because all that money is going to pay the utility company when it could have gone to paying for your solar panels that you could own. So those are the things that if it was me, I just rambled about, that I would have loved to known a long time ago. The rest of it, I think, kind of flushes itself out as we begin to recognize and become curious about solar because of the things we just discussed, right? You guys don't rent your house. Why would you rent your electricity? And if you can do it with nothing up front and spend money that you were going to spend on rent, owning your panels, that's when we start to think about, will my roof leak? What about hurricanes? Stuff like that. So I'm going to open up for you guys to just kind of ask some questions. And we have a bunch of slides here, but we don't have to cover any of this stuff if you guys aren't curious about it. So fire away, guys. We're here for you.
These are prompts. This is like RSTNLE on Wheel of Fortune. These are the letters they give to you. So this is what a lot of those people asked. You could ask one of these questions. You could do an offshoot, but we've got time and would love to talk to you. So who wants to go first?
I have a question.
Yay. Thank you, Suzelle.
Yeah, you had showed, I think, in the first slide that there was like a pergola outside.
Yeah.
Would something in that example give power to the rest of the house, or just a small piece, or just the pergola itself? How does that work?
That the answer is it would provide power for the whole home.
Okay.
The way we figure out how many solar panels you would need, or how big your pergola would need to be in this case, would be based on how much electricity that you need.
Right.
So every homeowner uses a different amount of electricity, and then so that is going to determine, along with some really nerdy stuff like what's the pitch of your roof. If your roof is flat or if it's super steep, you'll actually produce a different amount of electricity with the same solar panel. Also, if you have any trees or shading, like Lester can show you by dragging his mouse across it, those little green lines are sun rays.
This isn't a live one.
Oh, it's just a photo. Okay, it's not a live one. But either way, we have software, and this is what we're inviting you guys to do. Luke, would you mind poking that in the chat box? And if you guys don't know how to find the chat, please let us know. But this is probably the coolest thing that we offer as a service. We will, if you click the link that Luke is putting in the chat, and it's not rude if you do it while I'm talking. This is really what we get so excited when we see people sign up to Zoom with us one-on-one. But we will actually co-build a custom solar design with you with this software. We'll zoom in on your house. We'll look at how much electricity you need to produce, and we will actually be able to figure out exactly how many solar panels you need and where you want to put them. You don't have to put them you can put them anywhere you want to. If you want a pergola, Suzelle, we'll hook you up with a pergola. If you want to put them on the house, but you don't want them so your neighbors can see them, we can show you exactly how many panels you'd need on that side of the house. So we custom co-build it with you, and it's a ton of fun. It takes 10 minutes to 30 minutes, and you can have it any way that you want it. So hopefully that answered your question. Yes, that pergola would actually put electricity into your house, and then whatever your house didn't need to use during the day, you would actually sell it to your power company, and then they would sell it to your closest neighbors.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So does anybody, so that was, well, just out of curiosity, what was interesting about that? I don't want to make any assumptions.
What's interesting about that is that we're in the process of coding different pergolas and things for an outdoor space. So it was just, and we recently, painted tiles and things. Not that we redid our roof, but we painted and things like that. So I thought, what a unique way to not have to touch the roof itself and to incorporate something that I was already going to do anyways, which was, some sort of outdoor pergola or canopy or whatnot.
Yeah. Abby and I, my wife and I, we live in a geodesic dome. And so it's really hard to put solar panels on a dome. So we had to build a solar carport. So our solar panels are the roof of our carport, and we actually paid for the carport with our solar loan. So it was a zero down loan that allowed us to get that new feature we wanted, which is to park our cars under it so we don't have birds pooping on our cars and they're not super hot when we get in them, and at the same time, we produce 100% of the electricity we need as a family. So kind of neat. So I'm curious, does anybody here know why the power company would be willing to buy the electricity that you produce when they're in the business of selling electricity? Anybody have a guess?
I think we just got lucky the first two times we answered. The first two times we asked that question, people knew like quick.
Is it because they'll probably sell it for more than what they're buying it? Do they do that?
Yeah, they do, but it's kind of a backwards
They'll make
way.
money off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because have you ever seen your bill where it says transmission fees? If they're making your power a long ways away, they have to pay to ship it to you. But if you're just sending it right next door to your neighbor, there's no shipping. You don't even need Amazon Prime for free shipping because it's right next door, right? For electricity. And they keep track of it for you. This is what I'm, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. I keep trying to be, there we go. Bidirectional utility meter. This is the thing that they use to keep track of how much you sell to your neighbor. Jeanette, you're right. They save money by not paying transmission fees, and then they keep track of it so they can pay you what they owe you at the end of the month. But they don't actually pay you in dollars. They pay you in credits, even though the credits are dollars. So, John, do you want to explain that, or are we jumping too far ahead?
Well, there's no problem. And maybe, and if you guys, or you ladies have any thoughts associated with this, feel free to interrupt at any point in time. But one thing that's to be clear about is if you adopt solar, you're connected to the utility company like you have always been. So you'll never run out of electricity. Your lights aren't going to flicker on rainy or cloudy days or anything like that. So you'll just be producing when the sun is up, and you'll be producing so much electricity that not only can you feed your house's appliances, but you can spin your bidirectional meter backwards and get these credits that your utility company loves to get from you, because they didn't have to burn anything 100 miles away to generate it. They used that free sunshine, gave it to your neighbors, didn't have to do very much work, and sold it to them for full price. You benefit because you get this credit. So when it's dark or rainy or cloudy, you don't have to pay for any electricity. You just use the token. So that's how you get rid of your electricity bill, is you produce enough during the day. So after dark or when it's rainy or cloudy, you don't have to actually pay US dollars for that electricity. You just trade in your credits. So we build systems for you that offset 100% of your utility usage as long as you get enough sunshine on your property. Sometimes you have so many trees, or you have a small home and a big usage. So you might need a pergola and your roof, but most of the time people can produce well over 100% of what they need just on their roof, up and out of the way, where they don't have to build anything new. And kind of some stuff that folks don't know about is solar panels are like a hard hat for your roof. So you show like a couple photographs. It's 2021. We've had solar for 67 years. Not only can we install solar panels with 25-year warranties, without leaks, safe from flying away in a hurricane, but they actually protect your roof. So normally you could have sunshine beating down on your shingles or your tiles, heating up your attic and heating up your house, forcing you to use your air conditioner a lot. Well, now you have this sun break with an air gap in between. And so you actually, you stop a lot of that hot heat from heating up your house. And the shingles underneath your solar panels, 25 years from now, they'll look like they did today. I don't know if you guys ever had a rug over top of your floor in front of a window, and it was like that for like 10 years, and you pulled the rug away and you saw how like the floor was brand new under the rug, but all around it was all sun dyed and stuff like that. Well, your solar panels stop sunshine and rain from beating down on your roof. So it's just, there's a lot of beautiful things about going solar, but just so you know, you don't have to sacrifice your reliability of having electricity if you went solar. You're still connected to the utility company. All you're doing is just selling them electricity during the day and then using those credits at night. And some people, they can only offset 50% of the electricity they need. So if you pay $200 a month, then you only will have an electricity bill from the utility company for $100 a month. Most people, though, can get rid of 100% of that bill, and you get to choose what you want your solar payment to be, just like you chose what your mortgage is. Is there anybody here that chose a 15-year mortgage? No 15-year folks on? I can't see everybody's screen, but so
30.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. My wife and I chose a 21-year solar loan because we were never going to pay off our electricity bill. So what we did is we put our solar loan out for a long time so we could spend less money each month than we were with nothing down. Just like the image on the screen, this person got rid of a $127 bill to the utility company. It's a rent payment. It'll never go away. It goes up just like the price of electricity, and they locked in their solar payment at $90 a month. So does anybody know how much this person is saving This is zero down, nothing out of pocket to get it all set up. How much extra money do they have each month based on that?
It's like, that's
Don't
like
overthink it.
math, Jeanette.
Yeah, don't overthink it, Jeanette.
She said it. Her lips are, you're muted though.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. $37.
Yeah, thank you, Jeanette. 37.
Sorry.
No problem.
So that's why we created this fundraiser, ladies, is because we know that if people weren't so busy and they knew that they could access solar for nothing down, it would make their house more valuable. It would allow them to produce something that's very important to their lives at home rather than all the way at the power company a couple hundred miles away. It was better for the environment, and they could do it for nothing up front with less money. And there's no way there wouldn't be more people going solar. They're just missing information. And so a lot of times it's like, what's the catch? This doesn't make any sense. There's got to be something hidden. Well, it's likely it wouldn't be less each month if you were to purchase from a typical company that has salespeople and a normal process. But like Uber is less expensive to get to the airport because you're trusting a human to give you a ride rather than using a taxi service that has a parking lot filled with a bunch of taxis. And we're less expensive to go solar because we don't have anybody driving around in cars. We've never paid for Facebook ads or Google ads. We partner with schools and churches. And we kind of bribe you guys and to come learn about this with a $50 donation. And we just kind of shoot you a link. Hey, Luke, shoot that link one more time. But yeah, we shoot you a link and say, hey, join us. Let us custom build something for you. And then we show you all the pricing. So you're getting 25-year warranties and you're getting tier 1 solar panels, and you're just not paying for sales commissions, marked up costs. We actually give you the panels for exactly what we pay for them. You guys know a solar panel is like $150? Isn't that crazy? It's so inexpensive. So either way, I know I've been rambling a little bit, but we're just solar nerds. We think we want to live in a world that makes sense. And we think it's just wild to set things on fire to generate electricity when we can do it from free sunshine.
Sun's already on fire.
Yeah. So what else? I know that was a lot, but what other types of things came up from that would just from, it's like, why isn't there solar on every roof in America right now? That's why we created this program, is to find that out. And the best answer we have for you after 6 years is people are just too busy to look into it.
Hi, I have a question. How is it safe here in Florida with the hurricanes? In which way they are like positioned in the roof or like fixed? I don't know how to say it, but how are they safe here also?
Yeah, while Lester's queuing up this video, I'll make a simple comment, which is anytime you want to do anything to your home, you're going to have to get a permit from the building. And when you do anything like that, there's specific codes that have to be met to make it safe. Because if people were installing solar panels that were not properly attached, you could see how dangerous that would be to have panels flying around in a hurricane. And obviously you've seen them up on people's rooftops, so you know that it's possible, and they're still there after the hurricane. But here's a 45-second video showing. Yeah, go ahead. This is
solar panels. Here are the team of 3 installers.
Pause it. So, okay. In a scenario where you live in Hurricane Alley, then you're going to have a bunch of attachment points like this. So you can see, just like in the cartoons where the cartoon characters are getting blown by the wind and then they just grab with 2 hands instead of 1. In places where wind speeds are higher, like Miami, the code is to have more frequent attachment points. If you live up north where people get feet of snow, the inspectors and the codes have more to do with the weight of the panels plus the snow on the roof. So every area has its own specific building requirements, and we engineer all of our solar systems specifically for the area that they're going to be installed in. But go ahead and show more of the video, Lester.
Racks on the roof that will hold the 24 solar panels. Step 2. Connecting the panels to the roof. The panels are mounted on the racking equipment and will soon begin to generate solar electricity. They are connected to a string inverter that converts solar energy into usable electricity. Solar panels are lightweight and very durable. They require no maintenance and they last more than 30 years. The Foremans purchased their system and will break even in just 5 years.
Will you pause it?
Solar.
Oh, to go back to the picture if you can. So for you Floridians, does it make sense that the roof underneath those solar panels is going to last a lot longer? Just looking at that, like you guys know how crazy sunshine is. You ever left a toy out in the sun for a year? You know, it just gets wrecked, right? So, and the other thing is, just logically speaking, a house underneath of solar panels like that is going to be a lot cooler. It's like a shade tree. It doesn't matter if the tree is 30 feet above a house or if it's right above the house. As long as there's air moving underneath, that heat is not going to be transferred into the home. So those are just some things that, you know, we think are cool being solar nerds that I like to point out, especially for folks in Florida, because AC bills are high. So
what I like to point out is what a poor job these guys are doing standing on the solar panels while they're installing them, and it's still fine because solar panels are very strong. So
yeah, they're more hail resistant than your roof is. Your solar panels will be. And if a hailstorm does come or a hurricane takes them all away, Mariella, the homeowner's insurance will cover that. So you don't lose your investment. Just like if your home was damaged in a hurricane, it's part of your house and it will be covered.
And if you have tiles instead of a shingle, there's a different attachment for that looks like this. It's the same concept. You're just attaching it to your rafters. And it's even, tiles are almost better in some ways. I don't want to use better or worse. It's just different. You know, you use snowshoes and snow, you use athletic shoes when you're running, and tile roofs use one kind of equipment and shingle roofs use another, but it just slides right underneath your shingle or your tile. So nothing has to even really be disturbed. So
if you knew exactly what you wanted as far as how many panels and the design, it would take like 3 or 4 months before you would be generating electricity from sunshine. But the actual installation is a day or two. All that was done in one day in that video. And like the last 2 installations that I didn't even see the inside of the people's house until we were completely done. I got invited in for some coffee. You know, I was up on the roof and I was outside and in the garage. So,
yeah. John, so I want to brag on him because I think he did a good job. John did this house. This is one of our friends we've known for like 20 years. And he did this one in Virginia. That's the backyard. And if this is what batteries look like. So have you ever heard about batteries? That's just like a generator, except for it doesn't have any, you don't have to crank it up or put fuel in it. The sun charges it up every day. So if there is a hurricane and your lights are out for 3 weeks, every day the sun comes up and it keeps working. You still have power. You don't have to go to a Georgia hotel to take a shower after a hurricane.
Most of our customers choose batteries, but as a country as a whole, over 90% of folks they opt out of batteries when they go solar because they're connected to the power company, so they don't need them. The power line, you just use the credits you created. The batteries are more like a generator, right? People that have generators use them only after the storm. And so if it's important for you to have lights on when nobody else does, then you'd get batteries. And if it's okay to use a candle and to the camp with, do that thing that you do when the power goes out, which is sit and wait, when's the power coming back on? Then you can do that too. But we can show you very easily on that co-build custom design exactly the difference between having batteries and not having batteries.
So John keeps mentioning this, but this co-build design that he's talking about, a lot of people want to, do I have to put them on this part of my house? The answer is you don't have to put them anywhere. But if you did want them, what we show you is really simple. We put them where you want to put them, and we can click them on and off to meet your desires. And then what we do is we look, this thing is calculating right now. And what it's calculating is the sun's path over 12 months of the year. And it's figuring out exactly how much light each one of these panels receives based on your shading, on the pitch of your roof, on the location of your panels. And that's what this little thing is. You can see in the morning, this house is in the way. See how the lines turned red? That's because this house next door, when the sun is really low in the sky, is shading those panels. So if you wanted them over here, we would say, well, is this side better or is this side better? And then what you would find out is that the southward facing side is definitely going to be the best in terms of energy production, but making a little bit more energy and putting panels where you don't want them for some people isn't worth it. So what John is talking about is that if what you've heard sounds good in the chat, does anybody not know how to find the chat box on Zoom nowadays? I know it's been a year. Does everybody know? So
it's been a year. He means the coronavirus taught everybody to use Zoom.
And so if you can click in the chat box real quick, and we'll keep answering questions as we go. But we wanted to make this really easy for you. What we're inviting you to do is to get back together with us so we can look at your house and figure out how many solar panels it would take based on the amount of how much electricity each will make. And then we'll show
you those solar panels that Lester put on that part of the roof. They produce 47% of the electricity that this homeowner used in the last 12 months. So that means that if they only chose that many panels, they could get rid of 40% of their electricity bill. There's obviously way more space on the house. So they could put them, they could get to 100 if they wanted. A lot of times utility companies, your power company won't let you produce so much. So you can't produce like 200%. Usually they'll stop you at like 110 or 120 unless you write a letter and say, I'm about to buy an electric car. So I need, I need this much extra electricity. But either way, you get what you want and we can access any piece of equipment that you want. We just treat every fellow human that uses our service like you're our best friend or our mom, and we like our moms. And we save you from, yeah, Jeanette's like, that must not be common. I mean, well, we had to start, not everybody loves their mom, we do. But yeah, so it's just an opportunity to really have some love and kindness associated with producing your own electricity.
Yeah.
I actually have a question. Can I interject for a second? Because can you hear me? Because I don't know if people could hear me when I'm wearing these things. Yes, okay. I had a question because you had mentioned if a hurricane, or in the unlikelihood, whatever, that a hurricane comes and there's no electricity, like that happened here with Hurricane Andrew, we didn't have like electricity for a week. Would I have to have the battery operator thingamajigger that you mentioned? That's kind of like a generator in order to continue to have electricity?
Yep.
Because I know you said that I received credits.
You
I
would
receive credits if FPL is up and running, but if they're not up and running, in order to still currently have electricity, I would have to have that, or no?
Leave it to the teacher to ask a really good question. Yes.
You're welcome.
So the answer
So I
to your
would need a
question is
battery thing.
you do need a battery to have power after a hurricane. You want to guess why?
Yeah,
let,
because they don't have.
let me lead you down a path of another.
Okay.
I'll ask you a couple questions.
Or you can just tell me.
Well, all right. So you know what happens after a storm? Like trees usually knock the lines down.
Yes.
Well, you got to remember, right now you're just a consumer of electricity. If you have solar, you're a producer of electricity, meaning that you were putting electricity onto the power lines. And so, can you think of anything bad that might happen if you were putting power onto the lines that people were trying to work on?
I would electrocute them.
Right. So that's why you don't have power after a storm. But if you have a battery, the battery is like, okay, FPL, we know you're down, no problem. We won't shock anybody. We'll just keep all of our energy here tonight. Okay. And then your panels keep working. It's just
and it's battery operated, so I don't have to fight for gas at a gas station or
worry that it's not going to crank up.
Even if you lay your batteries all the way dead, guess what happens in the morning?
The sun rises.
Good day, sunshine.
It'll run your house during the day and recharge your batteries. So at night you use your batteries. Solar panels do not store any electricity, and they don't do anything for you at night. That's what your battery would be for.
Good questions.
So basically at night, so during the nighttime, I'm actually using my credits then from.
That's right. Or for some people, there's not as much sun. This is kind of self-evident. All this stuff makes sense when you really think about it just a little bit, but there's not as much sun in the wintertime. Now in Miami, there's still a lot more sun than there is in most places in the wintertime, but even in Miami, there's more sun in the summer. No, Mariella, y'all have, wow, that's pretty cool. You guys have full-time sunshine in Miami. Well, in most places, there's not as much sun during the winter. And so what Jeanette's saying is that not only during nighttime you use your credits, but anytime you're not making enough electricity to cover what you need, that's when you trade your credits in. Nighttime is just a really obvious example that comes up often of when you're not making enough electricity.
Today it was super rainy in North Carolina. And so I actually, for a lot of the times during the day, I was actually using credits that I had created last week, because even though it was daytime, it was just because of what the weather was like. But in general, over the course of a full 12 months and a full cycle of the sun, I produce more electricity than I use, and therefore I don't pay the utility company for any of the electricity.
And if you produce too many credits because it just happens to be a really sunny year, or you just use less electricity for whatever reason, FPL will buy them from you. They'll actually write you a check. You have a full year to use your credits at full price. And at the end of the year, they'll give you a wholesale check.
You'd be taxed on it, though. It's like a 1099.
Yeah, it's a 1099. They hate sending checks. But here's an example of our friend. Pretend this is an FPL bill because it works exactly the same way. It's not an FPL bill. It's a Green Mountain Energy bill, which is even better. This is, I'm wasting words. Our friends here, they bought $93 of electricity at night and on rainy days. But during the pretty days, they made everything their house needed plus an extra $107. So at the end of the month, the utility company owed them $15 in credits. And then the next month, they owed them $40. And then they owed them $24. And this particular example is in Texas. And y'all might have heard about Texas and that ice storm. So they traded all of their credits in, plus paid $1.43. and the next month they paid $37.41. But the only reason that they had these is because they didn't get their solar put in until October of that year. So they missed the springtime credits that are really big. So if you see, the utility company owed them $53, and then they owed them $80. So next year in January and February, they'll have plenty of credits to cover what they need, and might get an electric car to just use the extra electricity instead of having leftover credits. So it's kind of cool to have your gas station on the top of your house or on a pergola. And if you have an electric car, that's exactly what you have. If you have solar panels, you have the ability to produce the electricity that your car needs to move. So anyway.
Jeanette knows better than anybody that sometimes it doesn't matter how compelling or fun the information is, the kids only have certain length of a attention span. So I just want to remind everybody that's here that this is a journey. You're not going to have enough information to say, sign me up, I want this on this phone call. But just like when we all go to the dentist, hopefully, right? And when we do, what do they do before you walk out?
Suzelle said it, I think.
Yeah, they set up the appointment. Yeah, exactly. They set up the next appointment because life is busy. We all know it's good for us to go back and get our teeth cleaned. But so my request is, if you heard something here tonight where it's just like, oh yeah, of course I would have rather started paying myself to own my home earlier. Well, you'll feel the same way about solar energy too. Once you learn about it, just recognize that no time is the right time. So right now is a great time to pick a day and a time in the future to co-build a custom design with us. So sometimes it takes folks 5 years, and we've had people who met us 5 years ago, to go solar. And sometimes it takes them 5 minutes. But regardless, the most expensive thing about going solar, I already mentioned it, is all the time it takes before your system is turned on and activated. Because
John says that really fast. I want to slow down, even though your brains are probably fried. What he's talking about is this: if you have $200 a month you're sending to FPL, once you send it to FPL, it is gone forever. It's never coming back. So if you do that for a year, that's $2,400. If you wait 10 years to go solar, you will have already sent FPL enough money to have paid for your solar. And once you pay for your solar, the sun is free, which means your electricity is free. So it's not a hurry up, we need you to buy something. We've got plenty. We talked to a lot of people. This is like a hello, fellow human. Our friends who are good people who showed up to support a good cause.
When you guys do it, your neighbors are going to do it. And then when your neighbors do it, everybody else is going to do it. And when everybody else does it, we wake up in the morning and everything works because the sun comes up instead of because people go to work to blow up mountains, to transport materials, to set them on fire, to boil water, to make steam, to spin a big magnet. All the stuff we currently do that's not simple to make our electricity. That'll be a much better world for us, for our offspring. It makes sense, but it takes us taking the time to move that forward and not being too busy as humans. So
thanks for joining us. Yeah,
thank you for joining us. I know it gets crazy, but we're just standing for our fellow humans the best that we know how, which is why we created the program and why we.
Yeah, one of my friends said, Lester, if you were eating at a restaurant and I walked by with a coupon for 50% off right before you were about to pay for your meal, would you take it? I said, of course. Like, why would I want to pay more for something that I'm already going to eat or I've already eaten? We're all going to use electricity. The most shocking thing is that whenever we go through this little personal meeting with you, most of the time people find out that it's about half as much to make their own electricity as it would be to buy it from the electricity company.
Before any incentives.
Yeah. And so we just want a chance to show you if you'll give us a chance to do it. So if you can find your chat, or you can point your little Zoom if you like those little camera things, sign up for a time to come back and see us again. And if we've done something to make you not want that, or you have some more questions, we'll be glad to answer them. But moms are busy and we've already taken twice as much time as we normally do. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I want to get some water.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Again, we're not going anywhere, but please don't feel like you're captive. Last thing we want is you not hanging out with us again because we kept you too long this time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, you
so
guys did
much.
great. Very informative.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Jeanette.
the
Thanks,
time went by fast. The time went by fast. Don't worry. You weren't boring.
Thank you so much. Very informative.
Yeah.
Thanks, Damaris. Thanks, Mariella. Happy Thursday.
Happy
Thank
Thursday.
you.
Take
Happy
care.
Thursday. Bye.
Bye. Luke left. I shoot them all off, Lester.
Good job.
Yeah, we needed to do that.
Thanks.
Just so, you know, they were just so nice. You know, everybody was so nice. But I think we'll see if it's yeah, without a specific call to action, like Mariella, any reason why you wouldn't want to meet back with us and design something? Great.
Yeah. I think we need to limit them to 7 people. 15's too many, or maybe even 5. 7
It'll
people.
be months before we do these again, and we'll revisit all this. You know, I don't think we should. I think if we focus on our friends and family, we'll be doing fundraisers for our friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah, I was thinking about this on the way out. Like, yeah, we definitely need to go out and raise some funds so we can do it really well and do it right. But we need to start with our friends and family so we have our advocates in neighborhoods everywhere when we get started again.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was fun. I mean, those are fun. They've always been fun. You know, like they're
never get paid to do them. It's the kind of thing people get paid to do.
Yeah. Right. It's not like we're ever gonna not enjoy giving money away, but we definitely need to add more, like create more.
We got to create a better experience, a more engaging, a simpler way to check in, all the things.
I don't know if that's the answer. I mean, I think the experience is plenty good. I think that the individuals that experience the experience are not being served by. It's just like it's, you know, the 25 and 25 solves a lot of those problems because it plays on like just the human condition.
It's a specific call to action with something in it for them, you know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But like the second $25 is Venmo'd to you, and you choose to donate it wherever you want.
That's exactly how it should be.
Right. That's like
send
this 25 is being sent directly to the organization. The next 25 is however you PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. We send it directly to you so you can donate it to your kid's college fund if you want.
I like that idea.
Yeah, right. It's just like, but we are bribing our fellow humans to continue the process because we're that
because that is where the human condition is. I apologize for being too far ahead and not finding a way to break through with this format, but we just didn't do it, and now we get to we get to do it even better.
I know all those smart people today. You know what I mean? It's like we haven't even had a single person show up for any of those meetings. That's like at this stage, like I would if I had one of these follow-ups, I wouldn't even plan that somebody's going to show up. I would plan other things.
Hop on a half a second before, see if they get on or not.
Yeah, like no preparation. I mean, it's like yeah.
So we got to bribe them.
Yeah.
For humans, when you're watching this in the future, realize how much easier it could have been. Like we tried, like we did the best we could to just give you all we had.
Think about how many times God has said that.
I'm not God. Are you? Well, maybe.
Yeah, but just like, if it was all right there. It was a garden there, like everything you ever wanted. You really made it hard on yourselves and keep making it harder.
That's a good point. Like the Garden of Eden, it's like you have to make this hard for you. Like you continue to choose to do it the hard way. I put the sun in the sky. I mean, a few people smart enough to figure out how to make these things, and you like this crazy world you live in, but you don't like all the work it takes to keep it going. Doesn't have to be like that. But we're going to make you work a little bit harder now. Like, since you like that, we're going to give you money for it, since that's the only thing you seem to understand. Like, people don't have trouble filling out a Cali link whenever it involves money going to something that they're going, if they believe that does. We prove that. One thing that we know for sure is that churches, schools, nonprofits, and organizations, when they have a free donation simply for showing up to learn about solar, are willing to invite their supporters into the process. We also know that people seem to enjoy the process. Like, I don't think we have anybody that's mad at us. We found some people. There's people right now in Florida that have gone solar because they met us. So we know that it's possible that people can come to the experience and end up going solar, but our mechanism.
We know that people that look at the math end up going solar on a very high percentage, like a very, very high percentage.
Yeah, we know that when people end up going solar, it takes almost no time for them to refer somebody to go solar. Like, almost everybody, since we took over the process, has referred at least one person to us that ended up going solar. And that's a huge plus, because if you have a bad experience, no matter how cool solar is, you might not recommend it to somebody. So we got a lot of great things going in our favor. Getting together, putting Holly's system up, getting some work done this summer. I'm going to go home and sell to my friends and family around there. Might need you to come down for a month with Abby. We'll put you up in an RV. You guys can come down and train some electricians for a week to teach them how to get all this stuff done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science. Imagine when our one Tennessee install so far, the guy didn't even, that the house had so many code violations as far as just like general construction is concerned, that they obviously don't inspect
very well.
Yeah, they're not looking for the code book stuff. I mean, I'm not saying anything was done unsafely.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, I imagine that you don't have to do anything fancy. I still don't.
Jacob's going to go solar. He just got a 4,000 square foot house. He wants batteries.
Jacob.
I've never heard me talk. He's my first cousin.
Oh, yeah.
He owns the Wimpy Burger franchises in Memphis. He's expanding.
I've never heard of Wimpy Burger.
You're like, I'll gladly give you I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a burger today. That guy from Popeye.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a burger today. It's like his name's Wimpy because he always wants to put off paying for things.
Can you get burgers on credit there? I guess you can get burgers on credit anyway.
And it's kind of funny. I was like, it would be great if Wimpy's didn't. They should offer burgers on credit. Like, if you want a burger, you can come back and pay us on Tuesday. There's a line on Tuesday and people come. No, they charge immediately. But his wife's family owns an HVAC company, and
I bet they would. That's like solar, air, and energy.
Oh, I guess
if you do HVAC, you definitely can install solar, for sure.
Really? That's
cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, HVAC's a much more technical install than solar.
Oh, I just picture this big thing sitting outside the house, or I guess
they're usually like soldering copper. They're running electrical. They do all of it. So
what? Something that you keep talking about that I just don't know how it works. I can't wait to see it, Holly's. I don't know how you pull wire through a conduit. I've never once pulled a wire through a conduit.
Just like it sounds.
But what are you pulling? Like, it seems like you'd be pushing a wire through a conduit instead of pulling it. Like, unless there's
It just depends on how far you're pulling, but usually there's a something called a fish tape, and it's just like a metal roll that you push through first, and then you hook your wire to it, and you pull the metal and you push the wire. Or you can use a string. You could take like a small piece of plastic bag, and you can just vacuum a light duty string in the bag all the way through, and then hook your wires to it, and then pull the string. Just depends on how string might break if you have big wires over a long pull, so you use a fish tape.
I'm not really sure how I managed to make it all the way through the light on my life and not witness
Pull wire.
Yeah, like I've worked on just about everything else there is to work on. I remember one day my dad just left me there and told me to put change water pump. Water pump was out on one of the tractors, and he went to work and said, "This is the water pump. This is the new water pump." Figure it out. It's like all day job, but it's a good way to learn. It's just like, here you go. Learn it. I felt really good about myself after that, and I've done a lot of jobs like that. I have that part of me repressed, but I can be useful at Holly's. Like I know how to do things.
That's pretty much what we do every day. So it's like, oh well, we need a roof quote in this place. All right, figure it out.
Figure it out. It's like, oh, we need to find out. Let's just take a minute since it's our last one to think about all the great stuff that we learned in the last year while we were doing the best that we could, to like, we figured out how to order solar panels. We have a special exception from a financier that allows us to finance our customers.
Maybe not anymore, because we probably meet the requirements now, but
yeah, but at the time it required a special exception in order for our customers to receive the best possible financing. We have financing that has no dealer fees and no early repayment penalty, one free reamortization at a fair rate.
Yeah.
We have financing available all the way down to 660 with those things being true. We've installed solar now in 15 states or in the process of it. If we haven't done it, that's pretty solid. Like Sunrun, I think it's just like 25 or so.
Oh wow. Yeah, we're gonna beat them to 50.
Ooh, we're going to win that race. Like, it's going to be fun. That's what a fun thing to be able to say that we did. And we're going to do it with friends and family, because we spent 20 years, not in finance, not MBA school, but meeting human beings everywhere that also are very good humans that are very good at meeting other human beings. And we get to give our friends a chance. And it's another great thing about being at Holly's, like just being there, we'll be able to run through friends lists and figure things out. Zena said she might come down. She does. Her friend Mike has houses all over Florida. We could probably do some incentivization and bribing like we talked about. I need to find his customers.
I don't know. Sticking with close friends and family for the next 3 months is going to be plenty.
Yeah. More
than enough. I don't think we need to get fancy. I think the more fancy that we get, the more it's going to hold us back.
Well, let's not be fancy then and get to work.
Yeah. just you got a brother, you got a sister. It's like start with everybody that's already in your phone and narrow it down.
Lead them if they don't answer. I'm just trying to remember who you are. Like.
Yeah, I mean, well, that just like, I think that's a great way to do it. It's just like basically have the team get on the same page. Like, if these guys don't go solar, then you should delete them.
Those guys don't have 1,000 numbers in their phone though. It's a little bit different.
It'll be enough. It'll totally be enough.
It's so hardcore. Turn it back into a cult. It doesn't need to be that fancy.
Why not? Well, I mean,
you gotta leave your friends. You gotta leave them behind.
Well, most of people don't have friends that are homeowners. They just have uncles and aunts. Like, Luke and Chris are not going to be there. They'll be done in 3 weeks.
I think they'll be done in 30 minutes.
No.
You think I get 3 weeks of friends and family? Yeah. Like,
by the time I was out of college, I had mentors and people in my life that.
Yeah. I just need somebody to follow me. I need to pay somebody to watch me call people.
Why?
It's because of so I don't talk myself out of calling straight down out of the phone book. Like when I make a prospect list, I'm just skipping around in territory too much still.
Wow. Well, you got to grow up a little bit. Or beyond that, don't you think?
What's that?
I
I don't really,
I
I just needed to say it. I don't really.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah, I get like hearing you say I need somebody following me. It just like, what? I have no student managers who've said that before. And I was just always like, gosh, that's crazy.
I have too much territory. I have too many prospects to call in my phone, you know.
Well, you just have to start with the ones that you're going to delete if they don't buy.
That'll be fun. We'll do it next. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking. My mom told me a story about Mr. Ken tonight, and he's celebrating his 60th wedding anniversary.
Cool.
And you know, I've never really. He's way too smart to not put solar on his house.
Even if it's just to do it for the next generation before he goes.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no reason not to. He's just way too. I mean, I can't think of a rationalization. If I was going to die next year, I'd still put solar on my house. You know, and he's not going to die next year.
Right.
I mean, I can't think of a. He's never been just about himself either. You know what I mean? It's always been about something bigger.
That's the part to talk to. It's like,
or mad.
Maybe it's something else, is that we just haven't really, like, one of the things that we can learn from the sustainable lady that was
Alexandra.
on Alexandra.
We should talk more about the planet and the environment.
Yeah. I'm just like, I know that half the population is turned off by that. I know that they all care about money. So that's why we've been talking to them mainly about money and then why it makes sense. But maybe the people that want to talk about the planet, we could talk about the planet. We could talk about climate change. We could talk about being a part of it. And that there wasn't a simple way to do it with people you could trust. And so we created one. And we're giving you a chance to be a part of it if you want to. And then working with aligned groups, you know, with friends and family.
I just say we build a logic trap. Like, it's like, if you put solar on your house, do you believe it'll be more valuable? How much more valuable? And then it's just like, okay, so then there's your ROI day one. Like, nobody's gonna be able to calculate it any other way than more valuable than what it cost.
Right.
Do you think it would help it sell faster? Yes. So it's just like a logical checklist that you go down, and then it's like, if you could pay the exact same thing and you didn't increase or decrease your costs at all, would you want to have solar panels? And if they say no, then there's something. No, because I don't want a leaky roof. No, because I think they're ugly. That gets rid of the ridiculous stuff right there. And then
then that's like a little module.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a logic trap. Well, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't call it a logic trap to anyone else, but
you're right. You call it a process flow.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just like, cool. So you go through the logic, then you ask the question. So if put in your current electricity bill, average electricity bill. Okay, so if your electricity bill went away and your solar payment and your replacement cost to own your solar was this, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to adopt solar energy? Yes or no?
And then if they're there for a donation to begin with.
No, it's just a worksheet you do with your friends and family.
But that's where friends and family is the same as everybody else. There's no distinction in my mind other than the rest of the people don't trust us yet. And
well, that's the reason why the rest of the people not trusting you yet leads to not real answers on the worksheet.
Right.
So you can trust that whatever the people click on the worksheet is the right answer, and if not, then that's a permanent deletion. Even if it's your mom.
Like, sorry, mom. Like,
I mean, we talked about, I mean, that's a great way to start the worksheet. Like, hey, I want to have a serious conversation with you. There's just a couple ground rules for the conversation, if you're okay with that. Like, with one, to be honest with each other, even if it's something we don't want to hear. Cool. Can we be honest about our answers? You don't have to worry about sugarcoating anything. Cool. You know, just like come up with like 2 ground rules, maybe 3, maybe just 1, which is give first, tell the truth. So, you know, and then just have a worksheet and we have a summer internship program where people get 1,000 worksheets filled out in the summer.
yeah. There's a lot of ways we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, just, yeah, I mean, not 1,000, but.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, I mean, Cutco has built an entire business from friends and family and knives. College students will be a lot more excited, but they're not going to be. There's a lot you have to know in order to be good at really explaining the details of solar to someone in 25 to 30% of the cases. But like in a full net metering location, really it's just the option, do you want a battery or not? Like, and then in a non-shaded 100% offset full net metering location, then that's something that our algorithm could do. You're just talking about creating an algorithm.
We're not at an algorithm in the market in education right now.
Not even close.
Right, but I'm just trying to create a tool for.
I hear what you're saying, and I think about when I can do it or what form it would take and what form we would put it in and what the questions would be. And I think it would be a very good conversation to have with people, like to have with our team to figure out if they want to be a part of that process of creation.
Yeah.
Otherwise we'll do it.
Yeah, we just do it, and then it's a market research. That's Ovanova. The Ovanova team is just market researchers. Have some questions for you before I ask Jonathan Bryant. Hold on. Yeah, he just like did. He did. He had over 100 less kilowatt hours this May than he had last May, and it's like really not. It's like just picked a bad time to be energy conscious, bro.
It's our fault. We should have told him to crank it up.
He said, have we found out anything more about SREX?
Yep, still isn't funded and still willing to put you in the wait list as soon as you're eligible for them. I think Amanda's system is on. Can I turn her green?
Yeah.
Cool. Pam Quist is now not quite on. We'll keep her yellow. How's Stephen White's job going?
Does that happen any day?
What the hell G Cruise is? G Cruise signed up twice. didn't show up to either one and refused to put their information in. Unsure how much my electric bill is. Put their phone number in this time. Didn't put the address for.
Garden quilt circle. Well, I mean, you could find that out if it's real.
No, it's real because somebody hit yes for homeowner.
Well, how'd they do that?
Probably typed in garden quilt circle, or they typed the person's name in and look for a cruise on garden quilt circle.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they have put the real address in? I don't think people are actually doing the homeowner verification because
That'd be a really good example right there.
Right.
I thought they were because somebody said, something condo. Like yesterday, it says condo on it.
Well,
It didn't say condo for Jarek.
Yeah, right. And how did they verify? Who's doing homeowner verification right now?
Nobody, it looks like.
Right. Exactly.
Or somebody sporadically.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that going on in my life right now, and I don't really know what to do about it. Like I kind of like, I'm just like, I can think of 4 instances, like somebody reporting hours at the farm that they weren't even at the farm. Right. Like, and I have verification. I didn't even, it was just kind of one of those things where I only know because I was talking to somebody on the phone about something and them mentioning that person had left and then them reporting their hours like at the same time. And I was like, that's wild. That's actually not possible. And just like things where, it's like obvious, like how, so if we were to be like, how did you verify G Cruz as a homeowner?
Yep.
I could we'd look up.
The next time we're doing mass scale fundraising, I can tell you exactly how we're going to verify G Cruz as a homeowner. We're going to have some type of computer look it up. Or I was thinking today that having people just double verify or verify themselves, like when in order to log into Zoom, they have to click I'm a homeowner and they have to click something else or whatever it is. I'm just trying to figure out what it is they can. What it was that I figured out.
Yeah, I don't know how, because, well, it isn't, he doesn't have like a apartment 3 or anything in his condo name.
That's what I was talking about. Like, that's the guy that I've noticed when I said he didn't fill out his information. Because it's like, what kind of weird name is that? But this isn't the first day he signed up. He signed up like 2 days ago too.
I'm talking about Jerickson, but because it didn't say condo. So the only way you would have known it's a condo is if you would have like actually looked up his address and zoomed in on it, which is not part of the process.
Got it. It would have said homeowner in the Miami thing.
I believe so. Yeah.
And he might take his whole freaking condo complex if he's very good friends with the people next door. Maybe our very last day, we'll find out that condo.
Yeah, it's one. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connected places, and I mean, it'd be a super convoluted shit show, really, just looking at it. But I mean,
yeah. Is there space on the roof?
What did he say his usage was? He said. $195. If everybody shares the same usage he does, no. They might be able to get like 70%. Maybe.
Poorly insulated. Maybe the whole condo complex will want some solar carports. Is it that kind of place that can use solar carports outside?
Well, maybe it's not as many. Yeah, I guess it is as many. I was gonna say. So there's like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah.
I just like kind of have something to fight sometimes. Makes me sharper in other areas. And I don't like not standing for people if it's possible. And it sounds like he's a dude that really wants to do it. But we'll see. You know, if he's called 3 solar companies and they've turned him down, that's kind of what makes me want to dig into if it's possible or what the process is.
Yeah. We're never gonna say no ever to any of those types of things ever. So.
Good. Well, it was fun giving away $30,000 with you this spring to good causes, John. Thank you for carrying this out to its logical conclusion. Like we'll come back re-incentivized with the 50 states painted. It'll be a logic trap with a smile that people will love. And if they don't like the logic, then that's okay. This isn't for them yet. We can
we'll talk about carbon.
Because obviously, yeah, we'll talk about carbon. We'll talk about whatever non-direct way of talking about this you want to talk. We'll talk about money. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Abby brought me a carrot muffin. All right, cool. We'll see you soon. If you wouldn't mind help with the spreadsheet, I will sometime tomorrow make sure people get paid.
I'll get it done when I wake up tomorrow. I don't feel like doing it tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
Thanks, Lester. Great job. Those last ones are our best.